In terms of changes and trends going forward, there's two aspects. There's one which is about the codes and the requirements, and there's one about the technology. I'll get Mark to talk about the technology. In terms of the codes, the requirements for people reporting are becoming more and more onerous. There's more detail being requested, and that's because stakeholders want more transparency, and they want to be able to benchmark different companies on an even basis. And that's what's happening in the US. The US has seen that their requirements were much looser and insufficient compared to the rest of the world. So they've now lifted the bar. They've added some of their own little twists in there, and it's now, there's people in the US really concerned about that because they've never had to hit that bar, that standard in terms of reporting and governance of their whole process. So that's a big trend, and I think it's going to continue. Mark, you want to talk about this technology aspect?
I think there's two sort of aspects from a technology perspective. One is, I think we'll see a big push towards the cloud, perhaps private clouds, because the data is very sensitive, and then the second one is the big miners are definitely embracing automation. And again, as Heath said earlier, things like being able to calculate your depletions automatically, etc. You know, the big miners are trying to engineer people out of the process so that they're as efficient and cost-effective as possible, and also using their human resources for what they're best at. So use their brain power rather than, number crunching and data entry type tasks.
One piece I would like to add is about ESG. So, and it gets back to the codes. And I know the Joint Ore Reserve Committee are currently updating the JORC code. They've just run a survey process to get ideas from the community. And the initial feedback I'm getting from the JORC Committee is that there's a lot more focus on ESG factors and making those a lot more transparent in how the mineral resource and ore reserves are actually generated. So that's another piece of the trend. When we say the requirements are increasing, I think it's that ESG piece is really raising its head, and particularly around the environment and the sustainability. Recent mining disasters have got investors really focused on those ESG aspects.